And next topic we'll discuss arrays. So what is meant by arrays? What is the purpose of using arrays? We'll see now. If you want to declare, if you want to store three values, we'll be accepting three different variables, and those three variables are going to be stored in three different locations. By using array, we are going to be declare how many elements we want to store for all that with one name, and all these elements are going to be stored in a contiguous memory locations. That is the purpose of using arrays. And also we are going to be store similar type of data. Arrays are used to store similar type of data or homogeneous type of data in contiguous memory locations. In contiguous memory locations. So in A comma B comma C, if I'm declaring, these are the three variables we are declaring with the integer data type, and these three variables are going to be stored in three different locations in the memory. Instead of that, if I'm declaring the array, we can able to store the different elements of the same data type in the contiguous memory locations. Contiguous memory locations in a sense, if I'm storing the array in the 2000 location, the next element will be stored in 2004, next element will be stored in 2008. Like that, it is going to be stored the elements in contiguous memory locations. So because why we have taken 4 size is, as we are taking integer, the default size of integer is 4 bytes. Based on that only I have given this example. We have we have different types of arrays. Different types of arrays. The first one, one dimensional array, two dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. See, usually if you want to say more than one dimension is two dimension only, more than one dimension is multi-dimension only. But we are going to be classified into three types: multi-dimensional arrays. So first we'll discuss about one-dimensional array. Which is used to store the elements in either row or column. Used to store the elements in either row or column. Only either row or column, but not in both. Syntax, or first we'll see which applications we are using. Applications for implementing stack, queue, we are going to be use this one-dimensional array. And now syntax for declaring array, data type, array name, size. Sorry, we are not going to represent the size over here. New, data type array name, new data type size. So like this, we are going to be give this. Say, if example, if I'm taking the data type as int, array is a, new, the size is 5 I'm giving here. It is going to be store the elements in contiguous memory locations where it is going to be stored 5 elements, where it is going to be stored 5 elements. So with in the name of a, it is going to be stored 5 elements. All should be integer only. All should be integer. See now, with the a, I have declared integer. Because of that only, it is going to be store the elements as integer. So we can able to initialize the elements row wise or column wise. Sorry, we can able to initialize the elements in two ways. Uh, that is static initialization and dynamic initialization. Static initialization is directly the elements are going to be assigned, or else see static initialization or compile time initialization, and the second one we have dynamic initialization or runtime initialization. See, if it is a static initialization, directly we are going to be assigning the value state. Directly we are going to be assigning the value state. There's an array of size 5 where we are going to be store the elements like this. So all the elements has to be enclosed within the open and close braces, and the elements are going to be separate with comma. So if I'm declaring the array with integer data type, all the values which we need to store in this array should be integer only. Should be integer only. Here directly we are going to be initialize. If I am using dynamic initialization, how it is going to be get initialized, we'll see now. Dynamic initialization. By using for loop, we are going to be initialize this for I is 0, because the indexing of the array will be starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. The indexing will be starts. Where the size is n, the indexing will be starts from 0 to size minus 1, it will go. 0 to size minus 1, it will go. So that is a way how we can able to initialize. So because of that, I less than n, I plus plus, till n minus 1, it is going to be accept all the elements into the array of I c dot next in. If I am giving to store only integer value, if you would like to store a decimal value, either float or double, that respective method we have to use and we need to get it. These are two ways of initializing the elements into the array. Now we'll see the example for that directly. See now, int n, n is equals to 5. I'm giving the size. I is the variable. I is the variable. And now here we'll ask the user to declare the array first. Declaring the array int array name new int of size 5. So now array has been declared here. Array has been declared. We'll accept the elements into the array dynamically itself. Enter the elements into array. For loop will be used. I is 0. I less than 5. Till 5 minus 1 we need to accept the elements. So that is I plus plus, and will be a of I location. We are going to store the data. And finally we'll display the elements from the array. Elements from array. So just here we are going to be use the for loop for displaying the elements. So because we want to traverse each and every element what we have in the array. So here I would like to print a of I value. Elements I'll be entering 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So it is going to be display the elements 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Dynamically, we have entered the elements into the array and we are displaying the elements from the array. Next concept, that is two-dimensional array. We'll see how we are going to be declare that two-dimensional array and how we are going to be accept the elements into the array and displaying the elements from the array. So here, as we have declared the array, how many number of elements will be stored? So that will be size. So as per this particular example, size is 5. So it will accept 5 elements into array. 5 elements into array. Now two-dimensional array will discuss. Two-dimensional array. See here, elements will be stored in both rows and columns. Elements will be stored in both rows and columns. Both rows and columns. See, because of that, applications, what we can say here is matrix. Applications, what we'll say here is matrix. We'll be storing the elements in the form of a matrix. Like because two dimensions we have rows and columns, we are going to be store the elements in both rows and columns. Applications we are going to be considered as matrix. And now here one more thing. How much of memory the array will occupy? How much of memory the array will occupy? See, here if it comes size of array into size of array into default size of data type. Or size of the array into default size of data type. Will be accepting the size of array is 5. Let's suppose we are going to be accept the elements is 5 and the default size of data type is 4 byte. 5 into 4 it is going to be get 20 bytes. 20 bytes of space it is going to be occupied by the array. So how it is going to be work for two-dimensional array, we'll see. First we'll discuss syntax for declaring two-dimensional array. Syntax for declaring two-dimensional array. Syntax for declaring two-dimensional array. So that is data type, array name, and will be having two dimensions. So two dimensions will be considered here. One is row size and the other one is column size. So R is represents the row size, C will represents the column size. Now here, example if we see integer data type, B is the array name, where I'll be giving the elements as 3, two. So total number of elements, how many it is going to be stored is row size into column size. Row size into column size. Example 3 into 2, 6 elements it is going to be stored. 6 elements it is going to be stored. Now, how much of memory it will occupy? Either we can say number of elements into default size of array, or else row size into column size into default size of array. So total 6 into 4, 24 bytes of memory it is going to be occupied. 24 bytes of memory it is going to be occupied. See, 3 rows and 2 columns, how it is going to be store the elements. Suppose B, row wise it is going to be store 0, 0, B 0, 1, first row, 0th column, first row, first column. So how many rows we have? 3 rows and 2 columns we have. So because of that, we'll be getting one more element like this. Second row, 0th column, second row, first column. Will we see here also we can able to store the elements, that is initialization of elements in two ways. Initialization of elements, static initialization, which is also called as compile time initialization, dynamic initialization, static initialization, dynamic initialization. Static initialization, where it is going to be store the elements row wise. Each row we are going to be represent in one flower brace, and all we are going to be represent in flower brace. 10 comma 20. So total we are going to be store 36 elements. So this is another row, and we would like to store one more row here. We would like to store one more row here. So like this, it is going to be store the elements row wise. It's going to be store the elements row wise. If it is a dynamic initialization, we need to use a nested for loop, that is using one for loop within another for loop. Using one for loop within another for loop. So that we will see how we are going to be do. For loop. This for loop is used for changing the row for I is 0, I less than row size, I plus plus. So just I increment. For j is 0, j less than column size, j increment. We are going to be store the elements here. B of I, j, we are going to be store the element. There is a dynamic initialization. How we are going to be initialize the elements into the two-dimensional array. We'll see this example now. How we can able to store the elements and how we can able to display the elements from the array. So first we'll declare the array. So first we'll declare the row size, column size. We'll ask from the user itself to enter the row size and column size. And two variables. One is varying the row position and the other one is for varying the column position in the nested for loop. And now we are going to be declare the array. If we are declaring the array before taking the row value and column value, it will give the error. So first we are asking enter row and column size of a matrix. So first we are going to be accept row size and column size. We are going to be store the elements. Now here we'll declare the array. Here we need to represent the size, that is row size I have represented here, column size. Now first I'll be asking the user to enter the elements into the array. For loop will be used for varying the row position. There is a one we are using. I is less than row size. Row size, column size will be varying. So we are going to be store the element into the array, and finally we are going to be display the elements from array. So here also we are going to be use the for loop, nested for loop for displaying the elements. So if I am displaying like this, that is bij value. See how it is going to be displayed sequentially. In new lines, it is going to be displayed. It is not going to be displayed in the form of a matrix. So let's see that 3 rows and 2 columns, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 6 elements we have stored. Sorry. Here we have got the elements from the array 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So to make it to display this in the form of array, just we are going to be write like this. Just I'm giving some space here, and after printing one row we want to make it to display in the new line. We want to make it to display in the new line. So if I'm giving like this, it is going to be get 3 rows, 2 columns, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So if you observe here in the output, we got all the elements in row wise and column wise. We got the elements in row wise and column wise.